Okay, this is our drive-through of the Edi Cutting Camping Ground. It's a free camping ground, equals first in, best dressed. And we did have a really good spot. Prime position, so everybody said we had. It was right next to the river. It was an excellent spot to camp at. Having said that, I don't think there's many bad spots at this camping ground. It was a very nice camping ground. So first of all, I'll go through the access. So we're coming from the Whitfield end. So you need to be careful when you're turning in. The intersection can be a little bit tricky. Just be aware of that when you're turning in and out of it. Just the way that it's set up. But make sure that you're checking for cars and you'll be okay. So when you first enter in, there is that bit of a water hazard. Now, depending on the time of the year and how much rain they've had, you may or may not get a water hazard. It's not a creek or a river, it's just a low point, I would say, where there's a bit of a swampy area where there's a bit of water that lies around. It's got a rock base, so it's a fairly hard base to drive on. Four-wheel drives, obviously towing caravans, vans, even a two-wheel drive, a bus did all drive through it. Some chose not to, some went around to the other end. So you can do that, you can turn around, go back in, go in the other entrance as well, because there's two entrances and / exits. And you do have, in between the two campsites, so the area is split into two, there is these three little water hazards. There could be 2 or 3 depending. We were there for a week and the water did recede quite a bit, but there was a lot of traffic that did come in and out, so we didn't have any rain, so it probably, the cars just emptied it out a little bit. Not so much the weather. Having said that, I would check it. If it's been raining, I would definitely check it. But it wasn't very deep at all. So this little area is right alongside the creek, and the road is up on the left. It's a little bit higher. And there is a few little nooks. If you don't want to be around near people, you are able to camp along in this section as well. There was quite a few people camped along here, where you're away from the others a little bit. So we've got this little track that drives along from one end to the other. It's quite a good track. It seemed to be well maintained. A few little potholes here and there, but you're not going to be tearing along it, so just take your time and it's not too bad. Now, as for wildlife, we had a local little kookaburra that came down and visited the same tree, so I think he was used to being fed. So plenty of kookaburras. A few people were fishing in the creek or the King's River. A few people also kayaked down the river, and obviously swimming in the river as well. Now this is, like I said, a free camping area, first in, best dressed, and it does get very busy on the main days, weekends, public holidays, all the popular times. It does get busy. So if you're looking to get a good spot here, you'd need to turn up early, and probably even earlier than you anticipate. So we'll just drive down. This is coming to the near the end of the second section, so we'll come up to the other exit or entrance that comes from the Wangarratta end. And if you continue down the road a little way, you'll find the King River Estate. I think that would be in walking distance. We didn't actually go there, but I think it's in walking distance. And then we did go to the King River Brewery, which is back past Whitfield, and I think that's too far to walk. But you can check it out. The King River Brewery is quite nice. They've got quite a good selection of beers. So this is coming up to the exit or entrance. You can see the bus there on the right hand side. They drove into the first section, had a look around, and then drove into there. There's a little nook where you can drive down to get into there. So you can see that there's quite a large area for camping. And it's well maintained. The parks and gardens were there when we were there. They turned up to look after the drop toilets. And then this is the main road again. So we turned around, came back again. Yeah, so the parks and gardens came along. They did some mowing. The area had been sprayed, so they were doing some weed control. And there's a man that's got his sign here. We didn't ring it up or anything, but he sells firewood, so you can purchase firewood if you didn't want to go out and collect any. So overall, it's a really, really nice area. It's very flat overall. So it's pretty good for tents, as well as camper trailers, caravans, and vans. There's plenty of fire pits around also. And each of the sections has their own drop blues. Which when we were there was quite a number of people there, and they were still very nice, clean. Always nice when you have a nice clean drop blue. So this section's a lot bigger than the other section. We'll just drive around in a bit of a loop. But if you do happen to come into this area, you can keep driving past. So where this vehicle and caravan is straight ahead, you can go just to the right of that, and that will take you down to where the bus is, and there's a nice little area in there as well. It's right on the river. Like I said, you can do your fishing, kayaking, swimming. And it sounds nice at the night time. Overall, it was pretty quiet. We did have a group come in and they did play music, but I think they stopped at about 11 o'clock. It wasn't too bad. As you can see, it's nice and green. Having said that, there had been a lot of rain around. I would imagine over summer it would dry out quite a bit. So that's pretty much the little drive through. We'll just go back to where our campsite is. That's our drive through of the Edi Cutting Camping Ground. We've also done a few other drive throughs of camping grounds, so you can check them out on our channel. An excellent place to stay, and I can understand why it gets extremely busy. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It encourages us to put out more content and to get out more and do more reviews on campsites. We had a good time staying at this campsite, as well as the dogs did as well. It is dog friendly. We only stay at places that are dog friendly. The dogs, I think, enjoy it just as much or even more than what we do. I think they enjoy it just for getting out and about and getting in the river, and also the meals that they have. They get more spoiled when they're camping. I think that's pretty much it for the review on the Edi Cutting Campground. If you've got any questions or comments that you'd like to leave down below. People have been giving us some great tips and giving us some places to go and visit. So if you've got anywhere in mind that you'd like us to check out, let us know. We do have quite a big list of places that we do eventually want to get to. Like I said, this little water hazard, it's not too bad. You can see the really rocky hard base underneath. The one thing I will also say was that the traffic up above on the main road was probably a little bit, I wasn't too bad, but I think on a couple of nights there was a few trucks that went past and you could hear them, so you can hear the road noise a little bit. It's not enough to really be annoying, but you can hear it. And we're back to where we almost started. So this is our little camping area. We're going to go off here to the left. And you'll see why we got the prime position when we pull up. Wave to Jack. And this is us straight ahead. It really was a great little spot that we camped at for the week. So got our camping ground there, and then the river.